What podcast reviewer 37 describes as an indiscriminate hellish ride that I would not wish on my worst enemy. The industry's elite have said time and again, man, fuck those guys. Get ready, if your ears had butts, they'd about to be fucked. Welcome to the Butt Fuck Nowhere Show. Oh yeah, man, I am so fucking fired up for this goddamn episode. Hoo-wee. Ooh-wee. Welcome everyone to a new episode of the BFN show, Buttfuck Nowhere.
A disgruntled episode.
This is extremely disgruntled. It's also going to be quite conspiratorial. So if you're not down for that, we got two words for you. Suck it. So that's what's happening today. But before we get, I'm Josh, here today with good buddy Adam.
Greetings.
And if you want to go check out more of our stuff, you can go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. We're switching over to everything to YouTube now. I don't care. Everyone go to YouTube. Fuck everywhere else. Go to YouTube.
Man.
Game Rage Magazine on YouTube. Everything's there.
I think I need to start doing my severance. Hey, buddy. I hope you're enjoying the latest episode of BFN. Please tune into our other podcasts and enjoy our bevy of episodes across many different topics that you may enjoy, good buddy.
Ah, yes. Why, thank you. Well, while we're here, let's share the ball in the circle around. And, no, but go to YouTube and just type in Game Rage Magazine. Leave us a fucking subscription or a subscribe or whatever it is. I don't know, what is it called? You don't got to pay for
subscription,
it.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. There you go.
Do all three.
Do all of those.
Or, yeah, download us if you want to. I don't care.
Yeah,
just
whatever.
Fucking say something. Do literally anything.
Do something. All right? And then if you want to follow us on social media, you go to Game Rage Mag, at Game Rage Magazine on Instagram and TikTok, at Game Rage Mag on Twitter/X. If you like music, you can go follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram, and you should go listen to the All Gas No Trash podcast, where we have hot takes, and the latest hot take is this whole Linkin Park issue.
Yes. Also, we have been doing recaps and reviews of Severance as well.
Oh yeah, on Game Rage Movies TV.
Yes.
So you can check that out too, because we're in preparation for the season 2 coming out in January.
Next year.
So also, if you like anime and mangas, you should go listen to the Anime Syndicate podcast. And if you want to follow Frank, who is the
Chief Executive Officer.
Chief Executive Officer of anime.
The animes.
You can fucking go.
Oh wait, what's Triple H's role?
Chief Operator or Chief Content? Yeah. What is it?
Chief Content Operator.
Yeah. Frank is the Chief Brand Content Officer of anime. And you can go follow him at anime_syndicate_podcast on Instagram.
Cartoons from the Japans.
Yeah, basically Japan cartoons and comics. So, all right, now that that's out of the way, let's get into the hotness. So, our whole methodology of like calculating our numbers has just gotten fucked.
Indeed.
And it's very disheartening. I was sad for a couple of days, but... Well, maybe I don't even know if I was sad for that long, but I was sad, but my sadness quickly turned into like just blind fucking rage.
My resolve has never been stronger.
Yes, we will reform into the first galactic Game Rage Empire.
Oh yeah, if you want to listen to Panel to Panel, we're doing Star Wars. Vader, good shit.
And also... Not to be confused with Game Rage Star Wars, the actual podcast where we just talk about only Star Wars things.
Yeah, and also in terms of political topics.
Oh, yeah.
V for Vendetta as well.
That's true. So, anyways, I got this thing when I logged in to check our numbers, because we check them on the daily. And we've been doing this. This has been, the first week of September has been like the highest fucking week we ever had.
Yeah.
And it has been just so great to just be living on that high. And then I get this thing that says, hey, fella, starting on October 1st, we're going to be switching to a new analytics metric.
The IAB standards.
Yeah, the Interactive Advertising Bureau standard that is in place, I guess, that they're going to use their standard. So essentially, they were like, hey, would you like to just opt in and try this early? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, if because they said you are going to lose downloads. Like, you're going to lose numbers. It's going to be, I don't know how much, but you're going to lose a lot. Or you're not going to, they said you're going to lose numbers. And so we said, all right, cool, whatever. I mean, that's fine. So when I looked into the new numbering thing, I was confused because they talk about, there's this new tab on there now where it says, well, I should say that first. So first things first, we did lose about 23.2%. We lost exactly 23.2% of our all-time downloads, all right? They just deleted them. So one of the things that they had said in there was that we never included the numbers that were called invalid downloads. Like, we never included those numbers in the numbers you were able to see.
Prior to opting in.
Correct, prior to opting in. So now that we opted in, our highest month of 2111 went to 800. The 2 previous months before that, we only dropped like a couple hundred. So that's not a big deal. But there's no fucking way that I believe for a second that we legitimately lost 75%. We were on a trajectory of still going up regardless. Even if you remove, or even if you look at the new number that they claim we have, our trajectory over the last 6 months has still been going up extremely steadily. And now all of a sudden, September, it got cut by 75%. And there's no fucking way there's no way I believe that. So I decided to reach out to somebody at the place that we utilize. And I got to talking to them, and they were basically, let me just see what the guy's like title is, just because I'm curious, because he's some kind of like important, it seems like he's some kind of important guy over there at the place that we use, which is RSS. We use them for all of our podcast hosting and everything. And this guy is the
assistant to the regional manager.
He's the head of product. Like, he is the head of their products. Like, he's the product like CEO. I don't know what they call it, but head of product is what it says on the deal. So he's like the guy in charge of shit, or seemingly in charge of shit. So at least the product. So I got to talking to him, and I started asking him about, hey, so this is the issue that we have, right? And I'm just going to use a specific example of All Gas, No Trash. So I said, I do our numbers daily, and before, what they would have is a little graph, and it would show you the current month, from the first day of the month up until the current day, the total number of downloads that the podcast has received, which is very great. It was very easy. I loved it, right? Because I could just look at it. It would tell me, boom, good to go. Now, they've removed that option, and you can only see the previous months. You can't see whatever the current month is. So you have to wait for the current month to end before it will show you the total month for that singular podcast, right? Now, obviously, we have like 16 podcasts, so this is going to be a problem. It's not like I got to do one, right? I got to do 16 of them. So that's a problem right there already. So All Gas, No Trash, I looked at it and I said, okay, we had an episode come out on September 9th. Came out at like 12:05 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12:05 a.m., right? All Gas, No Trash, episode comes out. I look at the analytics. It's like 11:50 at whatever when I actually like sent the email to tell this fool. It was like late at night. I checked it, so it was like the whole day had basically been done, right? And they update these every hour. So in the first day, in the singular episode list where it shows each episode, it showed that this episode that came out had 17 downloads. In the little tab that says downloads in the last 24 hours, it said 14 downloads. And then when you go and you look at the graph that says the downloads that you've had for the day of 9/9, it says 7. And so I'm like, wait a minute. Obviously, these numbers can't be fucking right, because I have something that came out today and got 17 downloads, but this graph is telling me we only got 7. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Also, YouTube says otherwise.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. This is why I don't, because I do have a conspiracy theory about this, and I'll explain. I want to further explain the whole situation out and then get into my conspiracy. So the guy gets back to me and he says, I don't understand what you're saying, basically. Like, he gives me this answer about oh yeah, here's the link to go check out how the new analytics work. And I'm like, listen, I fucking already read that and it explains nothing. So here's my specific question again, just so you can understand. And then he replies back in, oh, actually, I don't understand what you're saying. So can you send me some screenshots? Okay, I attached screenshots to the original fucking ticket. That's the other thing that pisses me off about RSS. You can't call them. You have to send in a ticket. Like you have to do an online like service ticket. And then they get back to you at their leisure, which whatever, I guess. But when you do some shit like this, I want to talk to somebody in person to explain it to them because shit gets lost on email if they don't understand what I'm trying to explain or say. So anyways, I send them the screenshots of all the shit. And basically, I'm telling them like, look, these 3 numbers, not all of them can be true. There's only one of these numbers that can be correct. So which one's the correct number? That's what I'm asking. On the day, what's the correct number? Because they're all wrong. They're all different. And they're all talking about the number of downloads received in the same day, basically. So if one episode that came out that day got 17 downloads, but you're telling me overall the whole podcast only got 14 or 7 downloads, well, I know that's a lie. That's not true. Because how did this one get 17? So as I'm looking into this, he sends me back this graph saying like, oh, here's this and here's that, and then he said something else. So I happened to just see that the day previously on that singular episode, it logged 13 downloads the day before, or whatever the number was.
Wait, hold
right?
on. So we got 7, 14, 7,
14,
17,
and 17, yeah.
and then 13.
And now we have, now when I look in the singular episode, it logs on 9/8 when the episode hadn't even come out yet. It had 13 downloads before it had even come out.
What?
And I'm like,
fuck?
Okay, so then I asked him, I'm like, hey, I saw this on your chart, and I will say this. I did get one positive interaction out of this, which was I told him, hey, this stupid little line graph that you guys use, it's very hard to read. Because he sent me screenshots of their internal graph, and I'm like, you guys have a bar graph. That's way easier to see the difference between day to day than it is to see this stupid little line like moving. So I was like, can you set me up to like have that bar graph, or can you like change it? And the one positive thing is he did say, you know what, Josh, that's actually a really good point. I'm going to talk to the team and get them to put this to everybody to where they're going to have access to the bar graph. And then I was like, cool, while you're at it, can you also have them re-put the current month number on there and just help a brother out? Like that's and I didn't get any response to that second one. But
at the very least, he understood what you were getting at, right?
Yes, he understood what I was getting at, but he didn't want to give me the reason why this was happening. So what I explained to him very simply was, how is it that on 9/13, because one of the cool things about the way that they're doing this now, and I'll give them props for this, is before you could only see overall for your podcast what countries and cities and shit were listening and how many downloads were coming from where you can only see it overall. Now you can, they got into the minutia where you can see per episode the cities and everybody who's like listening, right? And so I thought that was interesting. So I went back and looked now that I have this data, and I said, hey, I noticed on both of these days that there were no downloads on this episode in any of the time zones where it would have been the day before it came out. Because I could understand, like, we're in Pacific Standard Time. If someone in Hawaii downloaded it right or listened to it right when it came out at midnight, it's still the day before there for them. So I get that. I get how that would show up and populate for the previous day. But there were no downloads in any earlier time zones to support that number being put on the day. And so the day before the episode even came out. So basically his answer was like, I don't know. Like, I have no fucking idea.
The head of the head of product?
Yeah, the head of product. So he has no fucking clue. So
the fuck, dude, how do they not know what they're doing, man?
This is my conspiracy theory. They do know exactly what they're doing. So I looked, because he had told me that this new standard was this new standard that had been brought out by the Interactive Advertising Bureau. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I thought this was like a government agency that's like in charge of making sure all the advertising numbers are on the up and up. No one's filibustering or inflating numbers or deflating numbers. No, it's a private fucking corporation. It's a nonprofit foundation. Because I looked them up and because I'm a psychopath. It's an
NGO. It's a non-governmental
agency. It's a nonprofit. And so I went ahead and looked up their numbers because I'm a psychopath. And I saw on the IRS, they have the forms for all nonprofits. They have to put out their statements of income and all that stuff. I forget what the actual name of the document is. It's the statement of, it's the form 9900 like ocean. It is it's their return, their tax return. Like every nonprofit organization that's nonprofited and recognized by the government in the United States has to fill one of these out, and it has to be public information.
Yeah.
So the IRS website only has them up to 2022 because they're probably behind on uploading shit. So, but in 2022, I mean, this company brought in $47 million as a nonprofit, right? And they basically spent $40 million of it. They were left at the end of the year with about $8 million in assets that they had in the bank or whatever. And probably of that $47 million, it looks like about 10% went to fucking employees. I mean, the guy who's the CEO and who looks like a lot of these people who were top level individuals were involved in the advertising business prior to coming on board and working here. And I haven't looked further into some of these other people, but I would reckon that most of them probably still work within the advertising industry. And so if you look at the explanation of statement that they give in their thing, they talk about what the company is, and they say the Interactive Advertising Bureau empowers the media and marketing industries to thrive in the digital economy. Its membership comprises of more than 650 leading media companies, brands, and the technology firms responsible for selling, delivering, and optimizing digital ad marketing campaigns. So the guys who are making the standard for how numbers and how things are tabulated, the members of their corporation are the agencies that are doing the advertising and doing the marketing campaigns. So in essence, my conspiracy theory is that it's in the best interest of their members and of their organization to implement new standards that would artificially deflate people's numbers. Because, and I'm not, and I know I'm going to get some shit for this because people say, oh, you just can't handle the truth that you're not as good as you think you are. And I don't think we're good. I just want to clear that up right now. I don't think we're good at all. I think we're fucking hot garbage. The only thing that we do well is we do the work and we have the discipline. And I don't think you need to be talented to be successful in this industry. You just need to be disciplined and do the work. Hard work and discipline beats talent 9 times out of 10. Guaranteed. So I want to say that before I say this because I don't think, based on the evidence that's shown to us, these numbers just seem very strange. I would go with, and I'd be okay with hey, the numbers will be that those last 2 months prior in June, because I'll tell you right now, in June, I'll just give you the numbers that we had previously reported. June, the original number was 1747. The new one was 1507. In July, the old one was 1996. The new one is now 1679 from this new tabulation. The old one for August was 2111, and the new one is 886.
Wait, so we lost listeners in July? We lost 100 downloads?
Yes, so because remember, they said you're going to lose numbers regardless. That was the one thing that really kind of made me suspicious, is why would they come out and tell you are guaranteed to lose numbers? That's what it said in the thing. You are guaranteed to lose numbers. Don't be alarmed by this. It's just the new way the calculations are happening. So based on the evidence at hand here, and based on the fact that YouTube, because let's just go back and look at YouTube. Now, granted, our YouTube growth has been slowly getting there, but and YouTube wasn't our main mode of downloads. Now we are going to hopefully be transitioning to where YouTube is going to be the focus, because YouTube hasn't changed their algorithm of analytics calculation. This is the only thing that changed, was their quote unquote analytics algorithm that I will also say, are not allowed to know how it works. They will not tell us how it works, and they will not tell us in detail how these things are tabulated, because again, I believe that it's designed to artificially deflate numbers. Go ahead.
All right, so I can't remember if you mentioned that RSS, when they count a download, it's unique to an IP address. So once you download it once, it
doesn't count it again. Yeah, it only counts once. And
so whether you listen on your phone, you listen on your laptop or smart device, it all counts the same.
As one download.
And I think why they don't include YouTube, which I may have said before, is that I think they don't count it with the intent or the belief that the views can be one person 4, 5, 8 times. And not to discredit like our own numbers on YouTube, I'm just saying that because that's what's possible, is that one person can view one video numerous times.
Right, it counts as you view every single time.
So we're not artificially inflating our numbers either, because none of us have the fucking time, and we already did the episode, so we already know we already know what we said. Like, why would we do that?
Right. So on YouTube, okay, so for that month of June, we had 79 views on YouTube. On July, we had 168. And then in August, we had 194. Now in September, it's 2 weeks, right? We're like 2 weeks in. We're at 224 fucking views. Not even 2 weeks in. So our growth on YouTube is exponentially, or not exponentially, but it's continuing to rise at a pretty decent rate. So to then tell me in a same month where we had a very large rise, we lost 75% of the downloads basically that we received through RSS, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I think that there's a fucking problem with the algorithm that they are using. I think that like that numbers, that couple hundred that we lost on each month, the 2 previous months, that rounds out to like, I think it's like right around that, like between 10 and 20% number of what we lost. It's kind of close to that. It's maybe like 15%. I think that that's probably what they were going for, but for whatever reason, like August just got fucked. And there's something with the way that they were tabulating that it just deleted a bunch of shit. So I think that it was designed, this new algorithm that was put out by the Interactive Advertising Bureau was designed to artificially deflate people's views and downloads in terms of podcasts by around 20 to 30%. That's my conspiracy theory. And I think that because it's in their best interest and the companies who are members of their organization, because you got to pay to be a member. And when I was on their website, hey, new released for the 2024-2025 guidance on what you can expect to pay for advertising through podcasts. They just released that. So it's very convenient. They release new guidance to their member. I can't read it because you have to be a member, and I ain't fucking joining. Because fuck these guys. But you have to be... They just changed the way that they're doing their analytics, and now they just released a thing. Basically, what I think is going to say is, hey, advertising is going to be cheaper for you in 2024, 2025, or coming up to the rest of 2024 into 2025. Because of the new way we tabulate things, what's going to end up happening, I don't know if they'll outright say this, but my theory is that if they artificially deflate your numbers by 30%, but that's only the number you get to see, right? They're only deleting the number that you get to see because their internal analytics are different than what we can see. So
at least you have proof because
because he sent me the screenshots. So like their numbers are different. They see different shit. So is it the fact that they will be able to see the real number even though they know we're getting undercut by like 30%? So if I am a small advertiser, and it's not advertising, but if I'm a small podcaster, and it's no secret that there's like 10 podcasts that make like 95% of all the money in podcasting, right? Those guys don't give a shit. Joe Rogan doesn't give a shit about this because Joe Rogan's already been paid $100 million fucking dollars, or he's got a contract. Spotify doesn't give a shit because if Joe Rogan has 20 million downloads or 100 million downloads a month, if he loses fucking 30 million downloads, I don't think they give a shit. It's still reaching a huge fucking audience. So I think it's designed to affect the lower end guys, that if you were getting, like, I don't know what the number is, let's just say it's 100,000 downloads a month to get, a couple $1,000s in advertising revenue. Let's just say that's what it is. I don't know, but let's just say. And now your downloads are artificially decreased by 30%. you're going to be able to charge, you're going to get 30% less money because it's based on whatever the number of views. So you're going to theoretically get 30% less money. However, if the real numbers are showing that you're still actually getting that 100,000 or whatever it is, the advertisers are now getting more bang for their buck. It's like the stock market, or it's like the economy. Oh, let's just change the value of what the dollar is, or put more dollars in to increase the value or lower the value of it. So now the people that will benefit from it are the corporations that pay money based on how much the dollar is worth, right? So like, obviously, if you can artificially control the market in terms of like what the numbers are, you could theoretically lower the cost that it's going to be to people who are obviously members of this organization.
Yeah, you're gaming the system. So
Right.
you buy an ad on a fucking podcast for $700 as opposed to $1,000.
Right.
And you save yourself $300, but you could also profit more.
Well, that, and you're also theoretically getting the same downloads you would have got at 1,000. But now we can't prove that to them because now we can only prove that we would get the $700 worth.
All right, I'm gonna ask the stupid question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So why would it be in the best interest? You already said it, but for the sake of taking the counter point, why would they do this to hurt smaller podcasts? If you're right. There probably is 10% of people that make podcasts that make the most money, right?
Yeah.
But collectively, it would make sense that if they do this, wouldn't they be losing out on more money because less people?
For the people that are generally, or the companies that are generally involved in this, I'm saying no, because it's companies that are involved in selling, delivering, optimizing ad marketing campaigns, but it's also media companies, brands, and technology firms. So I can't see what the composition of their membership is. If it's like, if the composition of their membership is primarily like, let's say it'd be like Netflix, like companies that would advertise, right? Then it's in the best interest of them to say, hey, we're gonna change this ad, because I also need to find out who's giving them money.
Yeah.
Because that's where the real proof in the pudding is going to be. Because if like people that are advertisers giving them money, it's in the advertiser's best interest. They'll have to pay less money. And get the same result, basically.
But then by doing that, I don't know if I'm confusing myself, but wouldn't it make sense if more podcasts did well so that there's more money to go around? Like, it keeps it competitive, I suppose, so that, I don't know if I'm making the point I want to.
I think I know what you're trying to say. Because I think you're trying to say that it would be theoretically beneficial for them if they would inflate the numbers, so then they could charge more money so that it would be more, or it would maybe lower the price because, hey, well, I've also got 20,000 downloads if you artificially inflate my number. But where I think it's a quick fix of you're guaranteed to lower the number, because if you inflate the number, you don't know, that may actually increase the price. You don't know that, but you can know for sure by lowering the number, it will lower the price.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the logical thought, but for the sake of like taking the other side of why it would be stupid to do that, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. And I thought about that too. I thought about it from the other side, because what do they stand to gain? And just like with most nonprofits, if you are in the business of receiving money or reliant upon donations or reliant upon companies' goodwill to like keep you going, you're going to do what they tell you to do. So, or you're going to do something that's going to help them. So I don't know why this, and it's also because of the fact that they present themselves as a regulatory agency, but they're just like a nonprofit organization.
Under the guise of being having numerous people in the industry decide like the fate of podcasts.
Yeah, and legitimately, they don't actually give away any fucking money. I was looking on their thing right here, at least for 2022. I can't see any grants, anything that they've given away money, which as a nonprofit organization, you have to give away. I think it's at minimum 5%. Like there's no written rule, but like you should give away at least 5% of your net assets over a rolling 5-year period. So this year, at least on here, they had total. They
should be giving fucking grants to encourage more people to do podcasts.
Which is what they should be doing. They should be giving, honestly, they should be giving people grants to say, hey, let me buy you a Rode Procaster. Let me buy you some mics. Let me buy these podcasts some mics. Shit, that costs $1,200 if you want to get some decent equipment and you want to get give out $25,000 grants. That's $100,000 that you'd give away.
Yeah.
And you'd get 20 podcasts, top of the line equipment, good shit. That would be a useful way to spend the money. But it basically looks like, obviously, they're. I will say that looking at this, they are very. I don't know what the word is, but they're very much. They're calculating this to say basically like, oh, we spent all the money we receive. So we need to not pay taxes on it. We're nonprofit. We don't have to pay taxes on shit. We're spending everything we have. When they're really not, because they said they have $8 million. But they're doing a very good job of saying like, well, they lease their buildings and their offices. They're spending $4 million a year just in fucking rent for shit, right? So it's like,
yeah.
Do you need that? I don't know, but so again, it's very fucking strange.
It is. I mean, this was partly reality check to not rely on the numbers.
Right.
This was part conspiracy theory about the nature of podcasts. This new, it's not new, but this governing body, this somewhat governing body comprised of people in the advertising agency or advertising industries deciding, you know what? I think you're going to not make $1,000 today. You're only going to make $700 off of fucking ads. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, basically. So, I don't know. And again, this is a reality check. I will say that. I think this was more of a reality check to essentially say, hey, we shouldn't be focusing and hyper-focusing on numbers. It's good to know where we're at.
Disregard the numbers, return to monkey.
Yeah, basically, we were saying that. Monkey. Return back to monkey. That's what we need to do. And I think this was the catalyst for that. Returning to monkey. I will say right here, grants and similar amounts paid. $0. Prior year, $0 current year. Fuck these guys. They're not a real nonprofit. This is a legitimate sham fucking organization.
Especially when this is universally across the board that any service that has to do with podcast hosting is complying
with this deal. Yeah, it seems like,
that's fucking whack.
Yeah.
It actually should be some type of...
I feel like there should be some standard, like the FCC should be involved.
Yeah, I would think it would be them. It should be some type of division or department specifically with, I don't know, this would probably be like telecommunications or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know, but you think it'd be fucking them.
You would.
But then again, it's like that bullshit with the signal awards. Like,
right, it makes you think it's legit, but it's not. It's horseshit. It's all horseshit. And this is the smoke and mirrors nonsense that the complete media industry is under. And this is why we're not even that's why we don't want to be a part of it. We just want to be a part of our own little thing. So, I don't know. All right, you got anything else to add about this?
Fuck no.
Good, fuck it. We did 35 minutes, so that's close enough. All right, good enough. Now that I got I got to get the poison out, all right? Like, that's what you got to do. So, anyways, as we said earlier, if you want to support Game Rage and not be a cocksucker, just go to YouTube. Go listen to us on YouTube. Sure, go ahead, listen, continue to listen on your favorite podcast app. I'm not going to be an asshole, but if you do, also just go listen on YouTube because, like, fuck it, why not?
It's fucking free.
It's free. And everything's there. Everything is there. With this, you got to download 16 different podcasts if you want to listen to all our shit. You literally have a one-stop shop on YouTube at Game Rage Magazine to go fucking check out everything. YouTube, as you say 3 times. To just fucking pound it home.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to follow us on social media, Instagram and TikTok is at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. If you want to follow Adam and listen to All Gas No Trash, the musical podcast, you can go to Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram. And if you like the animes and mangas, or as Adam calls it, the comics and cartoons from the Japans, then you can go to anime_syndicate_podcast on Instagram.
Now that you mentioned that real quickly, apparently Shogun got nominated for 14 different Emmys for 14 different categories. And I'm just thinking, that's horseshit.
Yeah, it is horseshit.
The way that fucking show ended.
Should be nothing. It should
be seppuku'd. It should be fucking beheaded.
Yep.
And we should be the people the second this goddamn
Yep,
show.
I agree. And I can't wait to shit on season 2 when it comes out.
Fuck yeah.
Anyways, all right, that'll do it for us. Catch you guys on the next one.
This has been the Butt Fuck Nowhere Show. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, subscribe and like on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. Also on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also visit our website, www.GameRageMagazine.com, for a host of other podcasts and more. Thanks for listening.